Hey there! I'm so glad you're here to learn the single most important lesson that I've found in my healing journey from relationship anxiety. This has been such a game changer for me, and I know it will be for you too. I so wish that we were here together in person to chat about this after you watch this video, but virtual will have to do. Before we get too much further, let me introduce myself. I'm Sarah Yudkin, and I am a relationship anxiety coach that's living in Malmö, Sweden, but from Virginia in the United States. Me and my boyfriend Nate moved here back in January, and it's been such a great adventure so far. My mission is to help you feel more confident in your relationship and normalize the not so glamorous parts of relationships that we all have but are not talked about enough. Because so oftentimes we think our relationships are supposed to look like this or this. And while we can have some amazing and exciting moments, of course, throughout our relationship, when we expect it to look like that 24/7, like we see in the movies, there can be a lot of disappointment, there can be a lot of frustration, and a lot of anxiety caused. I believe that everybody has some not so glamorous parts in their relationship, but it's just not talked about often enough. So we think our relationship sucks when it's really pretty freaking awesome. Lovely and exciting moments are great in our relationship, but if we expect it to look like that 24/7, then there's going to be some disappointment. All right, let me share my story to help illustrate it further. After years of feeling stuck and confused in my relationship, I knew there must be something going on more than met the eye. Because here I was, dating my boyfriend as seen in this picture, this amazing, kind, loving, smart, intelligent, great, amazing, like I said, all of the things person, and everything I could ever have wanted. And yet, all I could think in my head was, how can I be sure I love him enough? What if we break up in the future and things don't work out? How can I be sure he's the one, which we like to get worked up about, right? So I was really stuck in these thoughts for years and years. And that was when I finally realized something was going on here, because this was someone I really wanted things to work out with, but yet my mind was telling me complete opposite. I was waking up with a tight chest. I would get knots in my stomach throughout the day worrying about the future, and I was just consistently distracted from everything in my life, especially at work. And with my friends too. I mean, this photo is of me and Nate at my best friend's wedding, smiling on the outside, but on the inside, this is really more of what it felt like, me resisting the love that Nate was showing me. Even at a wedding, which stereotypically is supposed to be happy and joyful, I was worrying if I would end up in a loveless marriage. Oh man, it feels like a whole different world to reflect back on. But it's really scary when you're in the thick of these thoughts, and trust me, I know exactly how it feels. As you can imagine, I was not very present in the relationship, and I was even stuck worrying if someone else could make me happier than Nate could. But yet something still was not clicking, because when I thought about leaving the relationship, when I thought about not being with Nate and the amazing person that he is, that felt even worse. I could not imagine my life without him in it. So I knew that was when I needed to pause and really dig into what could be going on. That's why, finally, despite the fear I felt, despite feeling scared and confused and groundless, I finally started to look into what was really going on and start facing my relationship anxiety head on instead of resisting it and being afraid of it. I know that right now it feels like relationship anxiety is impossible to work through. It feels like these anxious thoughts and feelings will be here forever. And I know that right now, it feels like you only have two options. Stay in this relationship and feel anxious for who knows how long, or leave the relationship. And that neither feels like a good option for you. But I'm speaking to you today from a completely different headspace than I was at 5 years ago at the start of my relationship, and even a year ago at some of the peaks of my relationship anxiety. That's why I am so excited that you're here in this video so I can explain how I got there. I'm about to share the biggest lesson that I have learned on my journey to heal relationship anxiety. Are you ready for it? Are you ready? This is the lesson that I wish I could magically wave a wand and go back and tell myself 5 years ago before me and Nate started dating, so I could have spared myself all of the days of making myself sick over worrying about this relationship. All right, here it goes. If you are in a safe and healthy relationship, meaning there is not abuse present, there are not major clashes in your life values, there are not major red flags present, boundaries are not being consistently broken, this means that your relationship anxiety has almost nothing to do with your partner and everything to do with you. I'm going to say it one more time. If you are in a safe and healthy relationship, your relationship anxiety has almost nothing to do with your partner and everything to do with you. I know right now you might be thinking, Sarah, you are crazy. You might be thinking, it's not me, it's my partner. They're the one causing me this anxiety. Someone else would be better. You might be thinking, my partner is the one with the annoying habits and behaviors, not me. And you definitely might be thinking, it's not me because why would I want to be feeling this anxiety? I've been there thinking these exact same things too. You're certainly not alone in these feelings. One of the classic pillars of relationship anxiety is thinking that if they would just change, or maybe if I had a more perfect partner, I would be happier and this anxiety would not be here. We end up putting all of the focus on our partner, what's missing from their appearance or personality, what anxiety they are sparking within us, and what they're doing wrong to make us feel this way. Trust me, I know. I was there exactly. When Nate would chew too loud, I was definitely thinking that someone else with better manners would make me feel less anxious. When me and Nate were first dating and he and I are the same height, I would constantly find myself thinking that someone that was taller would make me feel more attracted to them. And when I felt anxious, I was always thinking, if I was not with somebody that was causing this anxiety, then I would be happier. Why would I be anxious around someone that was meant for me? And I couldn't have been further from the truth. When I say that your relationship anxiety has virtually nothing to do with your partner and everything to do with you, I say this with so much love and so much empathy. I say this to empower you, not to disempower you. And I'll go over more of that coming up in the video. I especially do not want you to feel ashamed, critical, or guilty. Don't worry. This is something that we have all been through, feeling like the partner is the issue versus turning inward to see how we are contributing. You are not alone. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You are not broken, you are not crazy, and you are most certainly not alone in this experience. However, there are more than likely some past experiences, beliefs, or expectations that are causing you to be hyper-focused on your partner, and that is totally normal. Let me explain further. I know right now it seems like your partner is the main issue. Like if they would just change or if something was different about them, then things would just feel more right and feel better for you. I know how that goes. But what if there's more to the story here? What if there is more at play? When I was in the thick of my relationship anxiety, not once was I pausing to reflect on how I was contributing to the situation. Yes, there were times when I realized I was very anxious and I wasn't happy about that, but I did not think that I was in any way related to the anxiety. I thought that it was coming from external factors, aka Nate. It was easier to put that on Nate or for my parents, for example, for getting a divorce, than to turn inward and look at me, myself, and I. But once I stopped looking for someone to blame and got curious instead, things transformed for me. And they will for you too. I learned that there is so much more complexity and nuance to relationship anxiety than initially meets the eye. I also learned that everyone has a unique combination of experiences, beliefs, and factors that are contributing to the relationship anxiety. We all have a lot of inner dynamics at play here. There are a lot of things that can impact our perception of our relationship and thus the anxiety we do or do not feel in our relationship. And bear with me because there are a few slides here and you may have a lot of things that you resonate with or only a select few, and that's more than okay. Things like your beliefs on what makes up a good relationship or a not good relationship. Your past experiences or traumas and how they affect your present day experiences and perceptions of those experiences. Your patterns and behaviors, how you show up day to day in your relationship. How you treat your partner, how you treat yourself up here in your mind, your expectations of what love means or does not mean, and how your relationship measures up in comparison with that. It can be definitely very much related to your feelings towards yourself. So how much self-worth, self-trust, self-care, and self-compassion you have for yourself. It can be that annoying, frustrating need for us to compare our relationship with others around us or what we see in the movies and the media. It can be valuing other people's opinions of our relationship more than our opinion of our relationship. It can be the unintentional grass is greener mindset that we inevitably fall into. It can be how fulfilled we're feeling outside of our relationship in our day-to-day life. It can be our inner perfectionists, critics, and people pleasers running amok up here in our mind. Fear of failure, fear of loss, or fear of uncertainty, those all play a large factor. Being a highly sensitive person, someone who feels things deeply. 20% of the world is. I know I do. I feel things very deeply. Being someone who is sensitive to large life transitions or big decisions, aka committing to someone for the rest of your life. I mean, it makes sense, right? And then insert other unique things for you here. There are countless reasons and factors that can lead to relationship anxiety. As I mentioned earlier, everyone is so unique. So there could be a various set of reasons from this list and beyond that are leading to relationship anxiety. Sometimes it's not always about knowing exactly why, but it is helpful to hear that these are some of the factors that can contribute so you can start bringing them into your awareness. If you need to, pause the video right now and notice what's coming up for you and take a deep breath. That was a lot of information to take in. Actually, wait a second. Let's do this together. I want to make sure that we are getting back into our bodies right now and regulating our nervous system with all that you just heard. All right, let's close our eyes if that feels comfortable, or just stare at the wall ahead of you and try not to focus on anything specifically. Let's take a big inhale through our nose together and a big exhale through the mouth. Let's do that 2 more times. Big inhale in. And release. Last one. Big inhale in. And release. All right, checking in on you. How are you feeling? Again, that was a lot of information to take in. Are you feeling a sigh of relief, realizing that you have the control and can be empowered to take on your relationship anxiety? Or are you feeling overwhelmed and groundless, realizing that now it's on you to actually start tackling your relationship anxiety? Whatever you're feeling right now, totally okay. No bad feelings, and just allow it to come up and notice it. Get curious. Feel free to pause the video if you need and take those few deep breaths again. I'm going to keep moving, but listen to your body and your mind right now if right now you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed and need to regulate prior to moving forward. A big part of working through anxiety is noticing when your nervous system is overstimulated and getting out of your mind and back into your body. That is a whole conversation for another time, but those 3 breaths that we just did together are available to you at any time when you're feeling like your mind won't stop spinning and you want to regulate that nervous system and come back into the present moment. All right, let's continue. When we're in the thick of relationship anxiety, oftentimes we unintentionally, and I say unintentionally because it is not something we're consciously doing, but oftentimes we slip into victim mode. Victim mode is when we blame things happening externally, out there, someone else or something else, for our problems internally. Like blaming our partner or our parents for the emotions that we're feeling inside or an external circumstance. To be clear, this is something that a lot of people do. This is not something to feel guilty, ashamed, or upset with yourself for. It's something that I would just like you to get awareness of if it's something that you find yourself doing as well. There is so much power that comes from gaining awareness of slipping into victim mode and deciding to show up differently, deciding and choosing to take control and take ownership over our emotions, our feelings, our actions, our beliefs. It is such an incredible transformation when we can start putting this into practice. Sometimes it takes someone reminding us of this or nudging us or cheering for us to move into that direction. And that's why I'm so glad you're here today. You have me, your coach and your cheerleader. Oh man, this was totally a gift before I saved it as a PDF, but let's just go with it. Hope any Friends fans out there enjoy this piece, and I wish that this was moving for you. For me, victim mode showed up as if my partner was really the one, I wouldn't be feeling anxious, so it must be Nate causing this. And if my parents didn't get a divorce, I wouldn't be so afraid of that, and I'd have a better model of love. Do you see how this takes all of the responsibility off of myself and places it onto other people in my life? It puts the pressure and responsibility on Nate to make sure that I am not feeling anxious. It puts the blame on my parents for causing my relationship anxiety and making me afraid of getting a divorce in the future. And without realizing it, this is exactly what's likely happening right now in your world with your relationship anxiety. When you're in the thick of relationship anxiety, it's easy for the mind to convince you that if the other person or the situation would change, then you'd be happy. And without realizing it, this is extremely disempowering for yourself. It's disempowering you to take ownership of your own anxiety and placing it in someone else's hands. So now that we know this, what do we need to do instead? You do the opposite of being a victim, and you choose to make the brave decision to take ownership for your relationship anxiety, your own happiness, your well-being, your fulfillment, your joy, even your sadness, your grief, all of the emotions. You choose to take ownership for your life. I truly believe it's one of the bravest things you can do. Not waiting around for someone else to come and make you happy, but making sure that you're going out and taking responsibility for your own happiness through your experiences, your beliefs, your habits, your actions, your thoughts. It's acknowledging that these beliefs and behaviors are yours and yours alone. No one is causing you to feel anxious. Someone is acting a certain way, and you feel anxious as a result of something that needs attention within you. And before you go too far with that, the thing that needs attention within you is not that this person, loving, kind, amazing person in front of you is not the one for you. It's something much deeper than that, something that has to do with you. This anxiety, this stuff that needs attention is not a sign that your relationship has to end. It's a sign that you need to look internally and decide what's going on that is causing these anxious feelings to be rustled up so consistently within this relationship container. More than likely, there's something unresolved within your mind or body that says love is not safe. And again, this assumes that you are in a safe and healthy relationship. Please remember that. This is not if you are in a relationship where there's abuse or anything toxic happening. Love can be scary, plain and simple, and sometimes we just have to come to terms with that and understand that that is our reaction and that it's totally normal and totally okay to feel this way. Once we acknowledge that, that's where the real work can begin. I think it is so brave to realize that it's your fear keeping you stuck and not your partner. To realize that you, yes, you watching this, have the power to make a change. It's brave to realize that you are the hero you've been waiting for this whole time. The key point I want you to take away from this video is that no matter how stuck, groundless, exhausted, or closed off you feel in your relationship right now, it's absolutely possible to make a change if you want to. There is a reason you downloaded this video today. If even a tiny % of you knows that you want this relationship to work out, despite the fears, despite the intrusive thoughts trying to tell you otherwise, then you can choose to make a change. You have the power to take action and make shifts within that are going to change the whole dynamic of your relationship and your relationship anxiety. This will affect your overall happiness within the relationship and in your life in general. There is no one quick fix or one-size-fits-all solution to healing relationship anxiety. There is not one formula that myself or any other coach can give you that will work for every single person. There's nothing that others can do that will guarantee to set you free. There is no one else but you who can take the initiative to make this change within. It starts with you. Even though there is no quick fix, no one-size-fits-all advice, and no one but you that can take this initiative, you absolutely can and will experience immense growth, connection, peace, calm, love, and joy when you make the courageous choice to face your relationship anxiety head on instead of running in the other direction. You will not only experience these things within your relationship to your partner, but also in the relationship to yourself. I'll leave you with some final thoughts. I tried running in the opposite direction of my relationship anxiety for years, and I ended up running around in circles, digging myself an even bigger hole to climb out of. Running from my anxiety and pushing the feelings down didn't work for me, and I'd be willing to bet that if you're here watching this video right now, it hasn't worked for you either. So take those running shoes off, my friend. Make the choice to be the leader of your healing journey. Make the choice to trust that this isn't about your partner and something deeper is going on internally. Make the choice to open your heart up to giving and receiving love starting today. I'm so grateful that you took precious time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. I'll be back in your inbox in a couple days with some journal prompts and reflections from this video that will help you gain some more clarity and time to just process everything you just learned. It will also help you reflect on how to move forward. Until next time, my friends, have a great day and take care.